Hello! Welcome to Brain Spill, the laziest show on the internet. My name is Tank, and I've been inspired over the years by many amazing sportsmen and women. The challenges we've overcome, the feats we've attained. That is why I dedicate today's episode of Brain Spill for those brave men and women that have gone to space in the name of sports. I am, of course, talking about the cast of Space Jam. Okay, we're not actually talking about Space Jam today, but maybe one day. No, today we'll be talking about instances where humans have gone to space and played sports for one reason or another. And you may be thinking, why? Surely they've got more important things to be doing whilst up there. And that is what we'll be talking about today. But before we start talking about astronauts doing awesome kickflips off the side of the International Space Station, we should probably rewind a bit and go back to when man first landed on the moon. This being the famous Apollo 11 lunar landing mission with Commander Neil Armstrong and co-pilot of the lunar module, Buzz Aldrin, who landed on the moon on the 20th of July 1969. Armstrong was the first man to walk on the moon, with Buzz Aldrin joining him shortly afterwards, the pair spending roughly about 21 hours on the lunar surface. After 21 hours and 36 minutes on the surface of the moon at an area called Tranquility Base, the pair lifted off and headed home. Most of what they did was conduct research, examine the surface of the moon, and collect samples before their return, so not much sport was really done. The main reason was likely because they had much better things to be doing whilst they were up there, but also there was a big concern over the durability of the astronaut suits themselves. There was concerns in the suits that there would be some form of oxygen leakage if they weren't careful, therefore the pair were instructed to limit their movements and try not to bend down as much as they can. That is why in the moon landing footage you see them being quite static, and the pair stuck together just in case one of them was to fall over so they could help each other up. In fact, they soon realised that one easy way for them to re-stabilise themselves was to simply push off the ground and then stand back up again. It was later confirmed that the suits were in fact durable enough to do some more vigorous activities, so that led the way for future moon landing operations to have maybe a little bit of sport as well. Then came the Apollo 14 mission on the 31st of January 1971. This was the 8th man-crewed mission to space and the 3rd one to land on the moon. As well as more moon rocks being collected and further research being undertaken, Commander Shepard decided to fight off the Reapers. Hit 2 golf balls off the lunar surface using a makeshift golf club he brought with him. Shepard purposefully positioned himself in front of the camera feed before pulling out a makeshift golf club. Somehow, Commander Shepard had managed to use a sample scooper and MacGyver himself a golf club using a 6-iron and attaching it to the bottom of the scooper. Mission Control had assumed that he had snuck on the 6-iron somewhere in the pocket of his spacesuit, and therefore it decided to start hitting some golf balls. This is the very transcript of the moment of when this happened.
And on the bottom of it, in my left hand, I have a little white pellet that's remaining of millions of Americans. Drop it down. Unfortunately, the set is so stiff I can't do it with 2 hands, but I'm going to try an old sand trap shot here.
It was reported with his first shot, he actually hit the dirt because he wasn't really looking where he was hitting, but then he goes for a second swing. The second swing pushes the ball a couple of feet alongside the camera, so not really a clean shot, as pointed out by the crew with this great response.
They got more dirt than ball. More dirt than ball. Here we go again. That looked like a slice to me, Al. There we go. There's the die. One more.
His third swing is a connecting shot and sends the ball off to the far right hand side of the camera, which is done at quite a low trajectory.
Miles and miles and miles. Very good now. And answer Ed's question earlier there, Kilo was the edge for the window shot there, so you ought to bring it back.
Whilst this is very much an exaggeration, It's still very impressive because the ball went about 400 meters, which works out about 5 American football fields. If you do actually want to see the full video, I will be leaving a link in the description so you can see everything that happened on this mission. Shepard was reported as saying the following: "I admit that once I tossed the ball down, I teed it up a little bit and got a bit of a better line. I figured nobody was going to quote the rules of golf to me 250,000 miles away." Commander Shepard kept this so quiet, in fact, that nobody even knew he was going to do this. Not even his own daughters knew that he was planning on doing this before he went to the moon. The deal I made with the boss was that if things were messed up on the surface, I wouldn't play with it, because we would be accused of being too frivolous. But if things had gone well, which they did, then the last thing I was going to do was to whack these 2 golf balls. As far as things done on the moon, that's up there with one of the cool ones. Whilst this is the most sport-like thing to occur whilst on the surface of the moon, there's been many other astronauts that have done other sporting things whilst in space. From my research, a lot of the time it seems like the astronauts would use their general work and maintenance to make some sort of sport out of it. Much like when I'm in the office and I try throw paper aeroplanes into the bin across the room. Just me? Fair enough. Garrett Reisman, who is living aboard the space station as an Expedition 17 flight engineer, said the following regarding the filling of a large water bag on the station. "Sometimes you just develop them by happenstance. We started tossing them kind of like a medicine ball, and we realised that you could toss and catch, and then go for a ride on this big thing as it takes you away. So there's all kinds of possibilities, and if there's any good ideas out there, let me know. We'll try it." And the floodgates are open. Suggestions coming left, right and centre about how astronauts can keep themselves entertained and play sports whilst on the International Space Station. There have been various things that astronauts have tried, such as Japanese astronaut Teika Doi, sorry if I butchered your name, who threw a boomerang on board the International Space Station with hopes it would come back to him with little to no gravity. It apparently did. NASA astronaut Sunita Williams ran the Boston Marathon whilst on board the space station in 4 hours and 24 minutes. In 2006, astronaut Christian, a former Swedish national frisbee champion, threw a frisbee whilst on board the International Space Station and kept it aloft for 20 seconds, which beat the previous world record of 16.72 seconds. Truly epic gamer moments. And it also sounds like if you want to break a world record, the best way to do it is just to go to space, because with little to no gravity, it sounds like you can do pretty much anything with the aid of little to no gravity. But does it really count as a world record if you're not on the world? Because technically you're in the weightlessness of space and not actually on planet Earth, so is it the same thing? Do you have space records? Apparently it does, because on the 13th of May 2013, Chris Hadfield got a world record for being the first person to ever film a music video whilst in space. Sorry, I got a little bit sidetracked. Past Tank was really interested in this question, so he also looked into that whilst researching this video and decided it might be worth including, because that's just an extra little bit of information for you. And I'm now just speaking my thoughts, and I should probably end the video. If you like the video, be sure to like and subscribe. If you want to be notified as soon as I upload my next video, be sure to hit that bell button. And if you've got any ideas as to what videos you'd like me to do next, let me know down in the comments below. As always, sources used in the video will be in the description. Right, well, I'm gonna go watch Space Jam. I'll see you guys in the next video. Fantastic.